better. Like, Floyd's a great fighter. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
He had 50 fights, and he said, listen, Sugar Ray Robinson had 47 fights. He lost one, then he had 78 fights. Then he had a 78-fight winning streak.
Wow. So
don't tell me about you the greatest fighter with 50-0, nigga. You're great, no doubt about it, nigga. 50-0. Chavez had 90.
Now, we all know Mike Tyson and Mayweather are not the best of friends. But Mike Tyson did say Mayweather is one of the greatest fighters he's ever seen, but he's not the greatest. Tyson said he's not TBE, and I have to agree with them. I think Mayweather is one of the greatest fighters ever. 5-division champ, made over $1 billion in his career, but he's not TBE. And I think what started the rift between him and Tyson was when Mayweather said he was better than Ali because Ali lost to Leon Spinks, who had 7 fights. Mayweather says that you could never put a fighter with 7 fights in front of me and I will lose to him. But he does give Ali credit, salute, and it won't be overlooked, he says, all the civil rights things he did in the 60s. Ali, who Tyson looked up to, it was his idol and his friend, did not like Mayweather comparing himself to Ali. He says Mayweather just a scared little man. With all that being said, Mike Tyson did make some valid points. In my opinion, one of the best fighters I've seen, he wasn't very popular, he wasn't a pay-per-view star, was Ricardo Lopez. Ricardo Lopez turned pro in 1985, retired in 2001, 2 worldweight champion, mini flyweight, and junior flyweight. El Finito Lopez was a very small guy, but one of the most complete fighters that I ever seen. There was nothing this dude couldn't do in the ring. He was just a small guy, and small guys like that, mini flyweight, junior flyweight, he wasn't very popular, but a great champion, and he retired undefeated, 51-0, but one of the best I've seen. Now you want to talk about the late, great Sugar Ray Robinson, and Tyson was close. It wasn't 87. It was 91-fight unbeaten streak. And this was between 7 years. 1943 to 1950, he was doing this. And times were different back then. It was no cherry picks. You had to fight who was ever there. Mayweather had choices that Ray Robinson didn't have. And then we look at Julio Cesar Chavez, which Mayweather acknowledges him because Mayweather has him in his top 5. The 87-fight unbeaten streak, winning streak, until he fought Frankie Randall until a draw. That is 87 wins. That is 37 more professional wins than Mayweather has. Chavez could have stopped at 87 wins, and that record would be untouchable. Now, people will say, and I'm playing devil's advocate, I don't agree with it, but I'm going to play devil's advocate. They will say Chavez should have lost to Meldrick Taylor. That fight should have been stopped. And he lost to Pernell Whitaker, which I do agree with. But you could say the same thing about Mayweather's record. I could say he lost the first fight against Castile. And I could say, some people say he lost to Madonna. No one's knocking Mayweather here. Everyone has a right to their opinion. Like I said, he's one of the best ever, all-time great, and a great businessman. I'm not knocking him getting his money in these exhibition fights. Do you? I just don't have him the best ever. I like Tommy Hearns, and Sugar Ray was great. I mean, there's a lot of great fighters out there. I just don't see myself catapulting Mayweather over some guys like that. And Mike Tyson, when asked the question, who he liked better, Mayweather or Pacquiao, he picked Pacquiao over Mayweather. Describes Manny Pacquiao as sensational. And sensational Pacquiao has 7 losses, while Mayweather is undefeated. Lots of people feel that way when you compare Manny Pacquiao to Floyd Mayweather. Wins and losses don't mean anything. They still believe Manny Pacquiao had a better career. And that includes Iron Mike Tyson. Leave your thoughts and comments below. Jay Beezy. Subscribe to the channel. I'm gone.